Hello Crankers and welcome to a new episode of the Crankers Club. Okay, let's tune your instrument. If you want to follow this course, I would recommend you to tune to GC. We talked about this earlier, okay? GC. G is the open string, and C is not the drums, not the trumpet. The second letter is the root note. As simple as this. So, depending on how many strings you have or the type of sound that you are looking for on your instrument, you could tune up to different pitches. Okay, my standard go would be G3. I might be more or less in tune. I don't know, because normally I'm not in tune with the world. I will try my best to be in tune during this course, okay? This would be a low G, G3. And the type of string I'm using here is a viola G string, okay? Disclaimer, if you own an Apple Hurdy Gurdy, okay, the scale length is a little bit wider. So you need to look for a long scale viola, or those strings labeled as up to 42 centimeters. Okay, it's just closing the parentheses. Okay, this is the low G, G3. If you have two melody strings, you could have the G4. Okay, this would be called octave tuning. As you can see, the strings are one octave apart, G3 and G4. These both strings together in octave tuning, only low, and only high. This is a fantastic tuning to begin with. Of course, you could have another options like the oh, sorry, I forgot to mention the type of string we will use for the high G. The high G will be a viola A. Viola A. Of course, measure your string length, your length from the note to the bridge, this length. That's the tuning I would recommend for you beginners. Okay, but of course, there are many alternatives to these tunings. You could play only with the G3 and have a very low and mellow string tuned to D3, for example. This sounds so cool, and I know modern instruments tend to sound deeper and lower. There will be some instruments that will sound great with this tuning, and some others will sound a little bit hollow, a little bit dead. So it's just a matter of trying. If you want to try this tuning, which we will not cover a lot in this course, sorry, you need to use a C viola string. C viola string. Drums I recommend, of course, Vision, Tomastic Vision for viola, Corelli Crystal, and if you want the cheaper options like Helicore from D'Addario or Prelude, these would be nice options. Of course, you can try other materials, gut and everything. Okay, even tennis racket strings, they work fantastic. Well, this is a matter of experimentation. Okay. So, little by little, you will see which strings go better with your instrument. Fantastic. Let's move to the drones. Okay, with the drones, sadly, there is no standard. Okay, the standard tuning of the drones for GC is C, C, and also G. I will show you how I have my drones tuned, but notice that some people tune them one octave lower. It's also possible, okay? It's up to you. Oh, sorry. this is C2. Oh, I think it's C. Yes, C. C or close to C, okay? Of course, this string is retunable, and we will do it a lot during the course, to D. D and C again. Let's see the interval. It's very important to get used to the intervals, okay? And try to tune by ear. We will talk about tuning on the next episode, okay? Don't worry. Okay, this would be C, and if you have capos, it's as simple as doing this. It's D, and if you don't want the D and you want to go back to C, if you don't have the capos, just tune up to D or down to C. Fantastic. Okay, which is the type of string that I would use here? Depending on the octave you want. Okay, if you want a very deep C, you could use a cello C string, and if you want a medium pitch, I would try to use a G from a cello. Always from 1/8 or 1/4 cello, okay, which is the children's side. Children's size, not side. Children's size, okay, the small cellos. So the string is not like this, and it's a little bit shorter. It will sound better. If you cannot get those strings in your violin shop, your local violin shop, try Amazon. And if you cannot order online, even you don't find them, you struggle, you can use 4/4 strings from cello. Remember, C if you want it super low, and G if you want it medium pitch, okay? Same thing for the other string, it's a G in this case. Let's get used to the interval. Drone. I have it in G3, but I know some people like it more in G2. So you can choose, okay? Of course, ask your maker for a tuning chart and check the octaves, because it's at this point it's most likely that you will break strings if you don't know exactly the octave. Okay, perfect. So let's move to the trumpet side, which is a little bit more exotic. Okay, trumpets. We will copy the tuning of the drones on the trumpet side. Okay, so we will have a C retunable to D with the same string, and a G. I didn't tell you this on the drones, but the G drone can also tune up to A, even though it's not as common. Well, maybe it's common for the DG tuning, but not very common for the GC. Which kind of strings do we use for the trumpet? This is important, okay? There are many choices. Some of them are pretty bad, okay? If your instrument came with nylon strings, I don't like nylon strings. If it works, it works, okay? I'm not an elitist, okay? I will not tell you need to buy these fine catgut strings. No. Don't worry. If nylon works for you, fantastic. But nylon tends to be very soft, and what happens is that when you are tuning, when you are tightening the tirant string, the pitch goes up from here. So I tend to like stiffer options, like regular gut, fluorocarbon, or even some kind of synthetic guts, Nile gut, sugarcane strings. There are many options, okay? What I tend to use is fluorocarbon, the C trumpet string, from Savares Alliance guitar strings, classical guitar strings. That specific brand, we have the 3 nylon strings, not in nylon, but in fluorocarbon, so it's stiffer and it will not detune as much as with the nylon. Okay. The specific caliber or gauge for the trumpet string would be 0.84 millimeters, going up to 1 millimeter. So even if you find 0.70 something, let's say 70 something to 1 millimeter. The lower the gauge is, the less volume you will have. So normally I use a 0.84 for the C, that can go up to D. Sorry, I did not tell you, but the pitch of the C is C4. C4 trumpet, retunable to D4. Okay. The other one, okay, the other trumpet is tuned to G, retunable to A. You already know this, and the specific gauge or caliber is 1.20 millimeters. Okay, that's what I use. In the past I also used 0.84 millimeters for the trumpet. This was an emergency test for a show, and it worked. Okay, maybe not as good as with 1.20 millimeters. I would use gut, fluorocarbon, or synthetics. Just exactly the same as with the other one. Okay, and what happens if I have sympathetic strings? Sympathetics, I'm guilty, I'm not in tune. It's very important that you tune your sympathetic strings, otherwise they are not there, because they will not resonate. These strings, I use sitar strings. Sitar strings that I buy in a big coil, and it's like $12 or something like this, and you have strings for all your life. I know some makers use guitar strings, steel guitar strings, or the fancy ones, yeah, super fancy ones, they use viola d'amore resonant strings. Okay, those are expensive, but they say they are very nice. I don't know, as I said, it's just a matter of experimentation. Okay, now you know how to tune, hopefully. So try to not